Good morning, folks. Dosto, good morning. Wonderful weather. I'm feeling absolutely on top of the world. And मैं आपके साथ एक different topic के ऊपर बात करने वाला हूँ. I'm going to talk to an entirely different topic. You know, it's not going to consist on war or on politics or something. I'm going to talk on something, which is more aesthetic, and that is Hollywood films. I'm going to discuss an iconic Hollywood film that was 100 Rifles. I call it iconic in the sense that this was one film which showcased extremely intimate scenes between a white woman and a black man. And that was a time when this was actually frowned upon. People didn't like it. And that's a fact of history. The movie made in 1969 is titled 100 Rifles and starred Jim Brown and RaquelWelch. Now about Jim Brown, let me tell you. He was a real macho man. And he was an American footballer, a professional footballer who made a name for himself. He retired pretty early at the age of 30, and finally he died in 2023. And his co-star at that time was RaquelWelch. Well, you can't say anything about her. She's the most sexiest woman you can think of. I can't think of a beauty, except thinking that if I could have compared with somebody, maybe it could be Aphrodite or something like that. Well, she was pure white, absolutely wonderful. And these two starred in this movie. And there was a third star also that's called Burt Reynolds. He had a smaller role. He's part of the story in the sense that he's a small-time crook who runs away to Mexico, and he's pursued by Jim Brown, who is the sheriff, and there he meets up with RaquelWelch, and they had those sizzling scenes in this movie which really shook the world at that time. If you look at them now, they're pretty tame. They look pretty tame. But at that time, they were hot, and there were many people who were very jealous of Jim Brown, and they said, well, it's just a publicity stunt. There's nothing between them. But there was a lot between them. And it was a brief fling. The movie was shot in Spain with Goldstein's music, excellent background scores, and the story, of course, set in Mexico in a revolution against the Mexican army. Well, gentlemen, this is something food for thought. Both the stars never really spoke much about their affair. They kept it to themselves. But the regard was immense. And it came out finally in 2020 when Raquel died. And one of the pallbearers was Jim Brown. Jim Brown also died later in 2023. But he had tremendous respect for RaquelWelch. I think he was a wonderful specimen of a human being, absolutely macho, strong, and RaquelWelch, the epitome of beauty, the American beauty, or maybe the global beauty. So, gentlemen, this movie in '69 is generally considered to be a cult movie, and there's one scene in the movie which I don't think anybody can miss it. I'll give you a shot of that movie in this video, and it is RaquelWelch taking a bath under a water cannon, which is used to fill water in the engines, rail engines, and that's the time when the government troops are coming and they're enamored of her. They haven't seen someone so lovely taking bath under with the water flowing on top of her, and they come and they sign their doom because they're gunners inside, led by Jim Brown. Well, gentlemen, that's one of those scenes which happens with iconic scenes, and that's what made this movie absolutely something which you can't miss. It's available on YouTube. You'll have to search for a good print because a pretty long time back, but in case you are lucky, you'll be able to get a good print and you'll be able to see the movie. Well, gentlemen, this just about showcases the American way of life. America is not a land of milk and honey for everybody. A lot of Indians have gone there and done well. A lot of other people have done well. But America basically is a racist society, even now. There's a lot of racism on, and at that time it was even more extreme. You know about the KKK, the clan, which went around hunting black men like you hunt dogs. It's very sad. And of course, the black man is not used now, need the word Negro, and you use the word Afro American, which is very correct. So, Jim Brown was Afro American, great American footballer, professional. He starred in very few movies, but he made his mark. And RaquelWelch, of course, started also in very few movies, but she left behind something which is glory. Nothing but glory. And one thing about her, she was married once, had a daughter, and she never married again. And she continued using the name of her husband till the day she died in 2020. And Jim Brown, of course, I think he had 4 women who came into his life, married 2 of them, and had 8 children. I think he really had a good time in life. But all the same, I would say that his scenes with RaquelWelch set Hollywood aflame, and there's no doubt about it that it was something stupendous. Even now, if you look at it, the chemistry between a black man and a white woman is what really matters, and that is precisely the chemistry which comes out in this particular movie, 100 Rifles. I'll not discuss the movie, the story, and all that, and that's not part of my thing. My idea is to show that it's a cult movie which showcased the relationship between a white woman and an Afro American. And just as side, I'll tell you that the Afro Americans in America are a breed apart. They have survived over 300 years of slavery, torture, and whatnot, mainly because of Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. And the specimens which have come up now, the race which is left behind is extremely versatile, strong, and macho. No wonder in all the heavy sports in the Olympics, though the Afro Americans constitute just about 12 to 15% of the population, I think they win 60 to 70% of the medals. It shows the strength of character of the race. Well, gentlemen, nothing more to add, except that I think this was the high moment in the life of both these stars, RaquelWelch and Jim Brown, and obviously it must have been a wonderful time with them. They met together in Spain, spent time, but they didn't meet again. And that's it, all I have to say. I'll close now. I'll wish you all the best. If you like my video, please share it with your friends. In the meanwhile, I'll say God bless and Jai Hind. Take care of yourself.